This is Culture Shockwaves.
Go. Let's go.
Unfiltered, unbothered by your hosts Sapphire and JayBird.
Welcome back to Culture Shockwaves.
Welcome back.
I'm Sapphire.
JayBird.
And we're so excited to talk about law of assumption versus law of attraction. But before we start, we got some comments. I promise you, I'm not texting. I have so many notes for our podcast episodes. And we share the notes. So if I'm updating something, he'll get an update. Also, sorry, I'm moving around a little bit. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know, I just like to move around.
Restless.
Today's episode's really special because it's really, really positive. Could be life-changing. You know, we're just here to share this content to help you. Nothing more than that. And I heard a rumor we have an icebreaker.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
Okay.
what's going on with you today?
That's the icebreaker?
Yeah, that's the icebreaker today. Being that I feel people's energy shift is how are you handling today? 'Cause
I felt
like
that's a good question. I felt a lot of heaviness for this episode.
Okay.
Because it's very meaningful to me. And I think a lot of people have heard the messages, but like I have so much I have various authors and spiritual people online that I follow, and I tried to put it all in one, and I'm like, I feel like this could be life-changing. It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So I was having a little bit of anxiety, not like just coming into the show because my message is so it's a very simple message, but it gets too complicated. I feel like it gets judged.
Yeah. Okay.
But once you hear it, people's life change for real.
No, I get it. And that's why I was like, I knew you were like antsy and nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's her deal? Even the way you were like texting, I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And you're like, nothing. I was like, no, something's off.
You don't have a real icebreaker?
No, that was the icebreaker
Really?
this time. Yeah.
Well, how's your day then?
My day's good.
Oh
I wasn't
gosh.
as anxious. You were anxious, so.
Well, this podcast is a little different than others because there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
And I do recommend if you're doing a repetitive task like cleaning dishes or maybe folding clothes or just sitting down or maybe even watching or eating, as long as you're chilling and watching this, that's great. If you're really busy or if you're at work or if you have to, you know, have your attention to something important, probably listen to this another time because it's just a lot to take in. That's just my suggestion. Listen to it once, listen to it again. And like I said, a lot of this content is from different sources, and I've been kind of studying this for 4 years. Jacob, do you have any ideas of how long you've been looking into the law of attraction or law of assumption?
Probably for me, like 6 months. So
Yeah.
I think you're way much more knowledgeable in regards to this subject, but I think I can add value from my perspective and maybe what I've realized over the past 6 months of 2023 up until now. So
I feel like I started learning about this after something traumatic happened to me. It wasn't that traumatic, wasn't physically traumatic, but like emotionally. And I wish I knew the moment it happened. It might have been some YouTube videos, might have been this or that, but let's just explain the law of attraction real quick and the law of assumption. So law of attraction is pretty simple. This is how I translate it, is that whatever you are thinking literally is coming to you, will happen to you. Your positive mindset or your negative mindset, whatever you're fixated on or whatever is even in your subconscious because of years and years of just conditioning or how you lived your life, that is what is being attracted into your life. And the law of attraction is at play for people who know about it or people who don't. For example, people who are born into wealth, they just live a wealthy life, and their children live a wealthy life, their grandchildren, because that's just what they know. They could be aware of the law of attraction or not, but that is just what they know. People who are struggling or maybe you're a little depressed, it's kind of hard to get out of it because it's just what you know. Now, that is a law of attraction working on everyone all the time.
Whether they know it's happening or not, you're saying it's happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the core of the message here to really get a grip of the law of attraction. And if you're trying to attract different things, like there's a lot of information here, but the key thing to take away is you need to be grateful for everything in your life. And that's the only way to attract greater things, because you're already in a place of gratefulness. And I'm going to use a few terms like the universe. When I say universe, it's really interchangeable with, your faith. When I say universe, it means God. It means, a higher power. So those three little things are interchangeable. Yeah. So when you're grateful, the universe reflects that gratefulness into your life, and it's easier for you to get things. So that's the law of attraction.
Wow.
What's your feedback, or what have you learned from this?
Honestly, no, it's true. Because to me, this is also positive. It's like having a positive mindset, right? Like pessimistic and optimism. Pessimistic, being a little negative. Is it a bad thing? Yes, a little bit. Do I get it? Yes, because I used to have a lot of that a little bit in me. Like, how can we do it? How are we doing a podcast? Or like, who are we to do a podcast, right? Like, but it's like, just do it. It's what you want to do. It's what you believe might work in your favor. It's kind of just having that positive mindset and attracting those things that you want. I think for me, there's limits with it, because I think there's like action comes with the law of attraction. Yes. If that makes sense. People that sit there and they're like, I'm just gonna think about dollar bills and think about cash. Just go. Cool. Like if you want to say, I want those things, throw cash on me, right? Like whatever it is, great. But you have to have something in motion of like, what are you doing to try to get there? Like, are you hustling? Are you trying to get into something new? Are you really seeking to get a better job or a higher salary or whatever it is? I think there's a little bit of action that comes from you for that. But I mean, having the mindset of attracting those things, I think does play a part to me in like having a positive attitude, a positive mindset. Yeah. So you really jumped into the middle of my notes, which is great. Yeah. Because the law of attraction, it does start with intention. Right. And there's intention versus action. Now you have the intention to make $500 a day or whatever your next goal is, but what are those passionate actions that you're going to take to make that? So again, law of attraction, we'll jump into the emotion side. Okay. So when you're feeling negative or nervous about a situation or taking that next step or going somewhere or even eating something, that is really your intuition. You're feeling not so good about it. That is the universe, that is God giving you the signs to follow your path. So say you do want to do, let's just use this podcast as an example. Like we wanted to put it together. I need to go home and edit this, but if I'm feeling pressure, if I'm feeling a time limit, I'm not going to output my best work, my best creative work, right? Yeah, but my intention is to have the most amazing video at the end. But now when I do it in a place when I'm energized, if I took my time, I'm working with a team who doesn't have a strict deadline, we'll create the nicest thing. So I had my intention, then I had inspired action. And I think that's a really good point. So that's the law of attraction. And why I wanted to bring up the law of assumption in this thing is because the law of attraction is happening. It's just happening. Yeah. And I have a note at the beginning here that if you're hearing this podcast, if you're listening to this, you're not just some like Joe Schmo. How do they say it? You're not some Joe ordinary person. Yeah. Like, I'm reading some books by Neville Goddard, and that's a very popular name thrown out here and there. Whenever he wrote his books, he claims 1 out of 1 million people have gotten this message. And I think because of social media, YouTube, which is wonderful, I think it's 1,000 out of 1 million people now, today, who understand the law of attraction and really the law of assumption, which is really, really important because that's where we can take control. So we're trying to shift out of our survival mode. We're angry a lot of the time. We're anxious. We're maybe on edge because that is our survival mode kicking in. But we live in a day and age where we don't have to be on survival mode. So we can be mostly grateful and
the law of assumption lets us have what we want before we actually have it. So I know
Explain it.
That is kind of crazy. You have to assume it is already yours and really live in that state that it's already yours. And I'm putting in a lot of information here. I'm going to link to teachers and books that will explain it to you way better. But to break it down, like I brought up that $500 a day example, I live in the state where I already make $500 a day. I am waking up feeling like I just made that. I visualize my bank account is showing that I made that. I don't hold back. If I want to eat something, I go eat it because I'm living that way. Mm-hmm. And so this is where we get a little metaphysical, okay? So right now, how we're here, we're living the 3D. You're watching this on YouTube. We're in the 3D world. Yeah. But there is a fourth dimension at work, which is called the quantum field. And everything in existence, everything that happened or is yet to come is first formed in the quantum field. And that's where instructions for our heart or our breathing or our nervous system, that's where all the instructions for that live. Like we don't see that, but that's working for us. Damn. And so if you have something to say,
I just, for someone who, not me, I'm talking about for like other people who are maybe viewing this, this might be the first time they've heard that. Not everyone knows that. Yeah. And I only knew about that, like I said, probably 2023 is when I kind of reading a little bit about more. Like I said, you're way more versed on it than I am. Just because
I'm still learning.
You're still learning, but you know, you've been a part of it a little more when it comes to just knowing the depth of it. It's just, when you said that, it just kind of resonated with me. Like, people don't know that things are forming behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
For them. Mm-hmm.
And that's in the 3D world. Like, organizations, companies are building stuff for you. You're not seeing that happen, but you're getting the results of it, right?
Right. So you want the latest and greatest, basically, when it's out.
Yeah, but there's also a dimension where everything is at works, you know, everyone's plans. So we have the ability to tap into that dimension and go where we want to. So when we practice the law of assumption, I make $500 a day. You're tapping into that timeline in the 40. You're building those instructions for the universe to bring it back to you. So there's a part of the law of assumption where it could be just math, and it's kind of tiring this way if you just say every day, you know what, I make $500 a day. I make $500. Like, you're repeating it in your head. Yeah. It's going to happen, but it's tiresome. You should do it whenever you're feeling inspired, but you should just basically live in it. It's really your emotions. And it's hard because you have to remind yourself to get yourself out of that state of lack.
You have to get yourself out of a pessimistic state.
Oh, there's no way the law of assumption will work for you if you're in a negative state. So I have one thing here written: desire minus resistance. So give me an example of something you desire. Like something.
$1 million. No.
I mean, it could be that.
Yeah.
But why?
I don't know. Security. I don't know. What else do people want money?
People want money to want things, I guess.
Not necessarily things. I think honestly, like, now in my life, I'm looking for more experiences.
Okay.
Like, to have untapped money and reserves to be able to do what you want and not really necessarily have to plan for it. Like, you can just go on a whim. You're like, you know what? I want to go to Bora Bora.
Yeah. The abundance of traveling without worrying.
Right. It's doing those things that you love without having to really have to worry about it. To me, that's wealth.
So right now you just expressed your true desire of traveling. Okay. But then you also express that money is the issue. So what is stopping you from traveling? It's not that you can't. It's in the back of your mind that you need money. Yeah. And so I know this is hard to believe and hard to understand, but you need to get yourself in the mindset that I can travel anywhere. I can swipe my card. I can go online, buy a ticket, and travel. money is always a bridge. Money is never what
so
people
for
are
people,
missing.
like I said, some realists, right? People that hold on.
That's what I'm saying. 1 out of a million
Hold on.
people understand.
Right.
That
for
yes.
realists, right? I can swipe and go on that trip, right? To wherever it is, Bora Bora, over anywhere, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But how do you, I guess my thing is like, how do you explain, like, sure, you can swipe, you can rack up the debt.
It's not
But
about...
what the mind, like I said, explain that piece.
Yeah, it's not about debt. It's not about you. In this path, there is no debt. You're going to go to your destination no matter what. So I like that you bring up traveling because I'm reading the collection of Neville Goddard's 10 books. It's a collection.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's life-changing. And in that, he talks about, I wish I remember the year, like 1940s. So they were still like using ships to travel across sea and stuff like that. He was in America, I believe he was in America, and his family was in Barbados. And he did not have a penny to his name. There's no way he could travel to see his family. But all he wanted to do was spend the winter with his family. And I might get little facts out of the story, like missing out of the story. But Neville had a mentor. Actually, his name was Abdullah, which is crazy.
Wow. A
lot of Neville's learnings are from this guy named Abdullah. So Abdullah said, Neville went to Abdullah and said, I want this. And this was before Neville was overly inspired. Abdullah said, what do you mean you're not in front of me? Abdullah was like, you're in Barbados. Neville was like, what? He's like, you're in Barbados. You're not here. And Neville was like, I want to go there. All Abdullah was saying back to him is, you're in Barbados. So what Neville did, he went home, he lived his life, but he would wake up, go to sleep, live his life like he's in Barbados, he's with his family. I know it's a weird concept, but throughout this, if we want to apply it, we have to be grateful throughout the process,
right.
But also live in the assumption that, you know what, winter's coming, I'm going to be in Barbados. Out of nowhere, Neville's brother sends him money to get a ticket to go to Barbados. Said, his brother wants the whole family to be together. Out of nowhere. And he ended up going and spending the winter in Barbados. Out of nowhere.
Like he assumed he would.
Like he assumed he would.
Right.
And that was because of what Abdullah told him. And so it's hard to believe, but it's within faith, and you have to have faith. Which is the law of assumption. And that's a lot of information right there, but yes.
No, it is a lot of information, but to me, it is almost like having faith, because you want to, I believe that the universe, right, wants good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think certain things happen that are, let's say, not in our favor, that happen. But to me, it's like those are lessons to be learned out of those. If something happens that, let's say, isn't in your plan. But I think it's hard for people to understand that sometimes that faith takes over of like, it is what it is, right?
So I have a few before I said desire versus resistance.
Yeah.
And so I have another one, which is rejection versus persistence. So right now you just spoke about how something doesn't go in your way.
Not in your favor.
Yeah. And I have examples from my own life, but I'd rather give you examples from these other people I'm learning from. So I might say his name wrong, Doughty. He gives an example of how he used to work at Nordstrom Rack.
Okay.
And he wanted to be a manager at Nordstrom, which is a completely different store. But his manager at Rack had to give him the permission to go work at Nordstrom. And he did it.
Mama.
Yeah, he did his 6 months. He did all his requirements. He's like, you know what? My time to go there. They're like, you know what? We can't really move you there because of this and that. You would do better here. He went himself. The manager at Nordstrom said, I can't do that unless your manager at Rack approves. Okay? But he dressed up. He was living as if he was already a manager there. A week later, what happens? The manager from Nordstrom said, you know what? You're on my team. Come over here. It's just an example. And you should see Aaron from 5 years ago to how he's transformed now, just by following. You will get rejection, but you're persistent in what you want, and you will get it.
So I have an example.
Yes.
If you want me to share.
Yes.
So at my old job that I was at, I kept like persisting that I needed to get a promotion. Mm-hmm. Like I'm supposed to get a promotion. Yep. I deserve a promotion. Like I need to get a promotion. So anytime that there was an opening for a leadership role, I would always apply for it. And people would get mad. Like people that have been there for a long time, because they kind of had this whole seniority thing. Mm-hmm. Like I've been here longer than you, so I deserve it. But do you produce the same output as I do? No.
Yeah.
So I'm always very persistent. Like I would apply for the job, and then what I would do is I would go like personally introduce myself to that leader and like hand them my resume and like explain who I am and what I do and like what I could do for them. And they would be like, this guy's bold, like to be able to like come on like the C-suite, try to find the VP or whoever it is.
That's amazing.
And be like, hey, not like I knock, like it's like my friend. I'm like, hey, do you have a minute? And they're like, yeah. How can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm from downstairs. I'm from 15. Like, this is this. Like, I applied for this. I start having like a full-on conversation. They're kind of like, well, this guy has some like confidence.
That's rejection versus persistence.
Yeah. So I was just very persistent that was going to happen. Keep in mind, I was rejected like 3 times.
Oh, no, you will get rejected, but you need to have that energy.
I kept going every time. That's
exactly it. And you can't be put down. So another quick example, I forgot who this is from, is this girl. She really, really wanted her boyfriend to propose to her when she was getting off of a flight. Okay? She was upset when she got off the flight. He wasn't there. He was nowhere to be found. Why didn't that happen? She was trying to manifest that I get off the flight, he's going to be there. She was mad. Again, her energy should have shifted to, you know what? I'm actually visualizing that he's there. He's there, and that will send another signal to the universe that, you know what, in another scenario, it's actually going to happen. Be grateful that you landed. Be grateful that you're here. So I don't know how you took that rejection, but if you kept persisting, I don't know how hard you let it get to you. But you keep up that good energy, that gratefulness of your current job to get that new role. Yeah.
No, it was hard. Like, rejection's never easy, I don't think. Because you always think like, oh, like, you know, I deserve it or whatever. But I would always like, I would be disappointed for the day, like, oh, someone else. But then you know what I would tell myself? It's someone else's time. Mm-hmm. Like, time is working in their favor. Like, that's what I was. And I was like, you know what? I'm grateful I'm grateful I still have my career. I'm grateful I still have like my team that I work with and stuff. Life isn't bad. But I just would try again. And then the 4th time I got it.
Yeah. And so everyone's path to success is so different. Mm-hmm. It is so different. You never see a celebrity or someone who's wealthy and say that person matches that person's track. There's no way. So don't judge your own path. You get rejected from this and that. You have to have faith that you're working in the 40 now. You know that you're going to get it. So my favorite example of whenever I forget about this is, and I want all of you to kind of visualize this, that you are standing on top of a mountain, a beautiful mountain. I feel like everyone loves mountains, but you're just standing on top of the most beautiful mountain. And guess what? This version of you is everything you want to be. You are the traveler. You don't even care about money. You have your family you love, your friends you love, just the carefree, that version, your highest self. Literally, your highest self. You're on this mountain. Now where you are right now, you're kind of in the woods. You're kind of in the woods trying to get to your highest self. But your highest self is looking down at your current you, struggling to get through the woods, kind of laughing at you. Because you're going up and down these hills. You're trying to go through the river. Your higher self sees a straight path and says, just stay calm. Just follow the path, the calm path. And you're going to reach me. So you can struggle. You can be mad. You can be angry. You can say, I want this. God knows, universe knows what you want. You're going to get it eventually. You can struggle for it. Or you can take the path of gratefulness and ease and know you are reaching your higher self. Know your higher self is watching over you as well. Because you know what you want. You know who you are. There's no way You can't reach that. Everything that's in front of us today was in someone's imagination. It was in someone's head. You know, even before you were created, the people who, you know, helped create you, bring you into this world, had a vision of having a child, having you.
And probably had a vision of how they wanted you to be and everything.
Yeah. Like most cases,
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
so
that was
deep. I hope you can sometimes close your eyes and see yourself on that mountain. Know you're going through the woods, climbing up that mountain. Yeah.
Dang. That's this is deep. It's very deep.
It's one of my favorite images, to close my eyes and be that person on the mountain.
Picture your best version of yourself, whatever it is.
It's
whatever
in
it
the
looks
4D.
like.
That means I am that. Yeah.
Whatever like in your imagination of what it's, you know, you are going to be, what it is up there. But it's like the question is, and I'm sure for people who maybe don't believe in this or don't have this mindset, how am I getting there? Mm-hmm. I guess that's my question to you is for people who don't know.
Yeah.
What do they follow? Or what are they, is intuition? What is it that helps guide this?
The word imagination, it gets a bad rep a little bit, but Albert Einstein literally said imagination is greater than knowledge. And your imagination is the magnet. You're not imagining something so crazy. You're imagining something you want to be, where you want to live. You're imagining things that bring you happiness. By following your happiness, you know you're going to bring others happiness. So how do you get there? You're asking, you truly do what you love. If you're confused, if you're truly in a moment of confusion, sit there. What do I want to do? You know what? If you want to watch a Netflix show, go do that, because your next moment will be inspiration. You're not, normal people don't want to watch Netflix all day. You're going to be inspired to go do something else. So truly follow your passion. Yeah.
That's good advice though.
Yeah. So I know you bring up numbers and stuff. I'm not a big numerology person, but what is numbers to you? Numbers
to me, honestly, like, no, that's not true. Hold on. You believe in numbers. You love 1111.
I just
that's
love
a
it.
number.
I love it. I just love it.
Yeah.
It has no deeper than alignment, I guess.
Yeah, it means, don't they say 1111 means you're on the right path? 333, 222, and 666 the devil, but I don't know.
So
some people believe in
Jacob no, in different countries, different things. Like China, it's like 9. 9 is I don't know. I'm making that up, but it's different things.
Yeah, 9, like whatever the sequence is. But 1111, I feel like.
So when I first go ahead,
if you're constantly seeing that, I think that's a sign.
Yeah.
For me, I told you, and I told some other people that I know too. Like 23 has been following me around forever.
People have favorite numbers, lucky numbers, stuff like that. But so I do believe in signs, but not that I don't know how to explain this. Repetitive numbers are great.
Okay.
For me, it was, you're on the spiritual path. It's igniting. When numbers start meaning something to you, for me, it doesn't go too deep. I'm not judging anyone who really believes in numerology. All religions have a sort of numerology.
Yeah.
40 days, 30 days, whatever, this many hours. But yeah, I think that's an awakening sign when you see repetitive numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like one time I was in a place, right? And when I was in a place, I felt like I didn't know if I should be there. And not that it wasn't like a bad situation. I was just like, I want to go. You know, like I want to go. And I was sitting there, and then I just went like this, and then I looked up, and there was a license plate on the wall, like hung up, for decoration, 23. The license plate was just 23.
Just 2 and 3. Okay.
2, 3 together, 23. When I saw that, it kind of put me at ease. No, stay. And when I stayed, it turned out to be a really good thing, because I ended up getting an opportunity out of it. So I like I said, my gut.
Sometimes you need that.
Sometimes I just needed
really
that. I needed that boost, like basically, because I just kind of I felt weary, and then when I looked up and I just kind of was like this, and I was like, and then I saw 23. I was like, okay, I'm staying. I was like, there's a reason. There's a reason. I'm staying.
And I'm not giving power to the number 23 that was there, but I'm giving power to your intuition that found the signs to stay. And everyone has their different version of signs. You follow your gut. I think that's pretty cool. So another point is that you were saying how to get through this path. So the universe doesn't speak a language. The universe doesn't speak English, Spanish, Arabic, whatever. It doesn't speak a language. It speaks emotions, and emotions are energy. So when you stay persistent in your faith of what you want, that's how you get what you want. And like I said, when you need that next step, just do the thing that you find fun, because life will just be happier if you're following, I guess not fun, but what makes you feel good. What makes you feel good, your life will become more fun. Things will come to you easier. You're more grateful because you're following that path of inspiration.
So could you say that for people, I guess, thinking about this, right? Mm-hmm. Does that mean the world revolves around them?
That's just what I'm. That's good. Okay.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a person, and I'm seeing the earth just doing this,
and,
right? Like so.
I could get into this. So, oh my gosh, there's so many thoughts.
Because it can sound can sound selfish.
Yeah.
Or shallow.
It can.
If you're like me.
Yeah, it can.
How?
The thing is that we're all, and I'm having an experience right now because it's like we're all living in our own consciousness, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really bad at saying that word, but it's our own mind we're living in, and what we pay attention to is what will come into our life. What will attract our emotions. It's hard to believe, but this is your life. Like, I'm feeling trippy right now because I'm like, am I even talking to anybody? This is my brain and my consciousness. I'm saying this word wrong, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Consciousness.
So it's really not selfish, because when you're following your path of inspiration, you are helping those around you. You're just helping them follow their path because you're doing what you're supposed to. They will do what they're supposed to.
What about negative entities, though?
What does that mean? This has nothing to do with...
Yeah, but you're saying, like... What did you say the last thing you said?
People are following their...
People are
flow.
following their path, their flow. Mm-hmm. What about people that don't necessarily... that are close to you, don't like your path or flow? Mm-hmm. I'm saying, how do you maneuver that negativity? To me, it's negative.
It is negative. And it's hard to hear, but it is a part of your manifestation. A part of you is rejecting that, and you're also viewing that person. Say this has nothing to do with my family. I'm giving an example. Like, say it's your dad who is saying, whatever you're doing, following your bliss, following your flow is not okay. There's a part of you that believes that, and a part of you who sees your dad as saying that. You see your dad as blocked, so he's going to come into your life as blocked. Now it's your job to go home and say, you know what, I understand it. I see my dad as loving. The next time I go and see him, he's going to be like, you know what, tell me a little bit more. You know what, I saw this video. You have to visualize yourself in a different scenario other than what you attracted in the past. And, this is where a little bit of delusion comes in. Delulu. I know.
A lot of you are delulu.
But a lot of us, which is okay as long as we use it right. Because our past experiences, I hate to break it to you, whatever you remember is a version, is delusion. Okay? We remember things how we remember it, how our emotions in the moment affected us. And I'm saying this in a positive way because we have the power to reverse it, kind of. We have the power to remember it differently, to attract it differently in the future. We're being delusional about our future. Might as well be delusional about our past, because all we have right now is this moment. It's really heavy.
Yeah.
But it comes with practice. And, once you're on this path, things sometimes seem to go bad or weird, or maybe you might lose your job, or you might lose this friend or this and that, but your world is literally shifting. You need to give it time. You need to stay positive, because you're literally making space for everything you want. So don't look at it as something bad. Yeah.
I mean, that resonated though.
Tell me how.
Just because of everything that that we've been doing, I would say, just personal life, and then even with this podcast, like, we've had people that have shown an enormous amount of support, and we've had people that have not really shown support, or let's say silence, or not being 100% supportive. Yeah. So it's hard, like, when you're trying to do something new, and I guess you have certain expectations that you want, or you thought of. Yeah. I don't want to take up all this time because it's for another episode, but
no, it's fine.
It's just, that's hard when you're trying to do something like that. Like you said, when you're on the path of what you want to do, what you truly are, what you're truly trying to be or become. And then unfortunately, some people don't really stick with that path, and that's hard.
I'll use my example. So I really wanted one of my friends to follow and like and watch the podcast without me saying something, because I'm posting about it, I'm talking about it. And you know what kind of made me upset? And in my head, I'm like, you know what? This friend is going to come around. They're going to come around. I'm going to see likes. I'm going to see follows, because this is one of my good friends. And yeah, it wasn't the first day of me releasing, but a week later, open up my notifications. That friend is liking all the photos, following. You know what? It didn't happen in the moment, but I kept that image of them a certain way, and they did it. Yeah.
You can tell me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Yeah. Because you were like, I'm not going to be hurt or pessimistic about it. Let me imagine them being supportive. And
so kind of in the quantum field, I went there where our friendship is amazing. They're supporting me, and they did that. Wow. Yeah. So we all have our relationships in the quantum field, and just go and try to fix that. And a really kind of quick, maybe easier way to tap into the quantum field. It's called state akin to sleep, which is basically meditating, I guess, where you relax. You're in a place where you could go to sleep. You're about to go to sleep, but you don't go to sleep. This is a time where you close your eyes and you visualize exactly what you want. This is for stronger things like, money, cars, whatever, your job.
Families, things like that.
Love life, family. You literally are in this state 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long it feels good for you. Living that life in the 4D, living that life in your imagination. Your imagination is so powerful, but you are emitting those emotions. You're there. You're literally writing the instructions in the 4D for that to come into real life. And state akin to sleep sets. That's a Neville Goddard thing. A lot of people practice that, just meditation. Please go do your own research on it, and have fun with it. Yeah. Do you meditate at all?
I have before. I don't think I do it every day or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I get the benefit of it. I get.
Yeah, I don't think you need to meditate for hours. I think maybe a few minutes a day, which is really visualization. There's guided meditation. There's visualization. There's meditation where you just want to relax, right?
But I will say that sometimes I have these like moments where I almost like, it's like a daydream. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like a vision of what you want to be or what it is you're trying to get to. And I literally see it playing in my head.
That's amazing.
But it's wild because I'm just driving and I'm literally like music might be playing or something. And I'm literally in this, it's like do. Like it's the whole script and the whole thing, but it's almost compiled. And
you're visualizing without knowing.
It's almost like a 60-second thing.
And that's a stronger way of visualizing, is actually making your life into a movie. And literally scripting out your life and start embodying that. If you want to be this fit, beautiful person, it does not matter what the camera shows, what the mirror shows. You are embodying that energy a week, a month, a year later. You're going to look in the mirror and be like, wait, I am beautiful. I am rich, whatever. So you have been visualizing without knowing.
I had no idea. But I almost think about it like I was daydreaming or just dreaming or whatever. But I think it's, I believe it, honestly. I felt like it was.
And it is those little habits every day. People repeat like 95 or 90% of the thoughts they had yesterday, we repeat it today. So when you are affirming, when you're visualizing, you're literally rewriting your thoughts. If you do it long enough, you're rewriting your subconscious to make you in that positive state normally.
Yeah. What about dreams?
I wish I was an expert on dreams.
Okay.
My theory
do you feel like that's subconscious?
Yeah, this is my theory.
Okay.
My theory is that dreams are in the 40. Oh my gosh. This is from the Neville books that he explains dreams really, really well. Okay. So why are dreams so weird? Like kind of like Inception. There are elements in your dream from real life. So these are kind of like a puzzle piece. Like, so you get a box of puzzles, you shake them all up. Your dreams are those puzzle pieces meeting. Okay. And then when you're awake, it's those puzzle pieces aligning. He gives an example of, I can't remember the example all the way, but his dream is maybe he is walking out of his apartment, he sees a dog, and then he sees a brown dog, and then he sees a strawberry donut, and he's like, okay, this is weird, this is my dream. Then he wakes up, he's walking, he sees a dog with a pink bow, and then a chocolate donut. Like things are switched, but they're just rearranged in real life. That's how dreams are. I don't know if you like dreams. I see the same people. I see the same places, but they're all mixed up.
No, for me, it's not like that. For
really?
me, yeah, I see different people, but sometimes I see people that I know, and it's a lot of my dreams. Honestly, are kind of scary because they not scary as in like
I don't really have
like they're not
dreams.
omen or anything like that, but they're my dreams. Like sometimes I would say a good 80% come to reality. That's, I think, what scares me the most.
I need you guys to go listen to this Neville part because he explains it so much better. Because your dreams, it is your subconscious. It is those instructions. It's that 4D world where we're all connecting without seeing.
Yeah.
It is bringing it into the 3D world.
There was a time where I had this dream and it was a bad year. Like with everything that was just happening with the family and stuff like that. And the dream was surreal because it was like a guy wearing like a cloaked outfit. And he literally came through where we were living and he killed all of us. He shot everybody. Let me tell you the reason why I'm saying this. He shot basically me and the whole family.
This episode's busy good vibes.
Yeah, but it is good vibes. Let me tell you what it actually means. Basically, he came in and he killed everybody, and then when he killed all of us, and I couldn't recognize who he was, it was just a man with like a mustache, and he basically was like, "Okay, I'm done," and basically the guy just kind of walked, but when he walked, he like walked through the wall, so he was almost like a ghost in the dream. So I asked somebody about this, and because I was kind of like, "What the hell? What is this saying?" It was actually. What was crazy is that like 6 months, maybe 3 months later, it was basically a manifestation that you're about to have a better life. Your old life is going away. And that was like years of struggle. And when that happened, like I was like, well, shit, I'd rather be dead than to deal with this, right? Like would rather be, you know what I mean? So 3-4 months later, like our life transformed. And we were out of the situation that we were in. We were in a much better place. Like we bought a home, all the stuff.
Yeah.
And it was basically saying goodbye to like the old struggles and like on to new struggles, but the struggles are not what we used to bear. It was weird.
No, so you're very connected with your intuition. So your dreams, like just like the sign in the restaurant, I believe you saw 23, those are meaningful to you because you're following your intuition. So it is really up to you if you want to pay attention to those signs in your dreams and not in your dreams that are leading you towards the right things. And bad things happen to people happen to people in real life.
Yeah.
And until months later, they realize it happened for a reason. Or days later, or maybe even in the moment if you're lucky. But yeah, it's a lot. So the meaning of this episode, to get it all down, literally, you can get whatever you want. I'm still learning. I still have a lot of resistance within me. I'm much better than I was years ago. But I want to give a quick example of how I've literally manifested something.
And I think I know, but go ahead.
You probably do. And I don't want to give away too many details, but it doesn't work without the details. Because when you want to manifest, when you want something, you have to know what you want. Huge thing. You can't be upset. You can't be unhappy, but not know what you want. You need to know your dream. You need to know why you want money. So I had a very specific thing I wanted that I was visualizing for almost a year. And I kind of felt crazy. So I had my starter car. My starter car since I was in college for like 10 years, okay? And I knew exactly what car I wanted. And it was, what does it say? Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. So I wanted like the nicest Audi, which was like $100,000 something. I wanted that car, okay? Like an RS5, okay? All I would do is I'm in an Audi. I'm driving my my Honda around, okay? I'm driving around town going to work and I don't look at the sign. I just pretend it's an Audi.
You didn't put an Audi sign where your Honda
I did
sign
not.
was?
I did not. I didn't go that
Some
far,
people do.
which is, vision boards, all that kind of stuff is great. I'm telling you, sometimes I felt crazy. I was driving to my job thinking I'm in an Audi, like $100,000 car, not even like an A3, which is like, the nicest one. And so by the time I was able to get into a position where I could get a car, I was like, you know what? The car I want is kind of low, like physically low. I was looking to this Mercedes GLA something, kind of like an SUV. My heart was like kind of torn. I was like, you know what? I'm going to double manifest. I was like, you know what? I might get this Mercedes. I might get this Audi. I might get this, but my subconscious kind of confused. But now that when I look back at it, I did set the stone in the 40 to get an Audi. So what happened at the end of the day is I got a car that was basically a mix of the SUV and the Audi that I've been dreaming for over a year. Ended up being an Audi, but it was an SUV. And I'm like, this is like a baby of my manifestations. And honestly, that was like probably the top thing I needed for a long time. So a lot of my attention was towards it. And I did manifest it. And I talked about like quitting my job, manifesting, making the same amount of money or more. Yeah. But that's like literally manifesting, like, you know what? I don't what I will. I mean, I do.
I'm making this amount of money.
I make this much amount of money. I make this amount of money no matter what. And then every month so far, I know I'm making it. And it has to do with faith. And do you have any comments? It's kind of crazy.
Good job.
It's kind of crazy.
No, because when that situation was happening and she was like so nervous about leaving somewhere that she was for like 5 to 6 years, I was like, listen, if it's that bad, not happy, get out of it. Trust your intention. Trust your gut that you're gonna make it, and you're gonna make it. Like, you're smart enough. Like, it's not like you have zero skills. You know what I mean? Like, you have skill sets. I was like, you got this. Do what you want to do. And sure enough, you kind of spun it. And then you made a comment to me.
What?
I don't know if you remember.
No, what
you
was
were
it?
like, this is the first month that I'm making what I made at what I used to make. Yeah. We didn't talk figures, and I was like and happy. I was like in awe because I was happy. I was like, you're serious.
So same thing with the Aaron Doughty person. He quit his 9 to 5 and is living his dream life. I'm on the path to my dream life, but I quit my 9 to 5. Like, it is kind of hard. Like, we've been conditioned that you need to work 9 to 5 to survive. Not today. Not
yeah.
Not anymore. Maybe you need to put in those 40 hours.
Yeah.
I would say, but does it have to be in a jail cell, in an office where you get half an hour lunch or 1 hour lunch and got to drive for an hour? No. I mean, I am not judging anyone, but that's not my life path. Of course.
So
you still
I will promote. Like,
yeah. And you love your job, and jobs are inspiring. Jobs are where you can put out your creativity. Like the head of Apple, he loves going to work every day. So, whatever brings you happiness, honestly. And I worked in the 4D to kind of get the car I want. And I just want to bring up another point real quick. That when you have faith, when you're manifesting, it's kind of like science. I'm trying to find this note here. It's called, Neville really does a good job. It's called the law of reversibility. There's a lot of
different ones.
A lot of different definitions here. But law of reversibility, aka prayer or affirmations. If you have a light, like a light plugged in here, right? We're seeing the light here, but there's a starting point. You can reverse engineer this glow, okay? So imagine this glow is what you want, is what you're affirming. The universe will reverse engineer until you have it. You're in the state of having it. The universe is engineering it for you to actually have it. Because if you can create something, you can uncreate it.
But does that go back to what I was saying earlier, that good things are supposed to happen for people?
Clarify that.
I think just the universe, right? We generally believe that good things are supposed to happen to us, right? I shouldn't be getting in the car and thinking that I'm going to just die today. I should be thinking that I'm going to make it safe. I'm going to make it play cool, get to my destination. You know what I mean?
The universe is exactly how you see it. And that's all I can say.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of people who really live in the mindset that I've heard people say this is the worst time to be alive. Yeah, of course, the situation in some countries is horrible, but you need to step back. And if you're saying that this is the worst time for you as an individual to be alive, please take a breath and be grateful for just 1 second. Just pick 5 things in the room you're grateful for.
Because there's someone who wants your life.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're hearing this message, there is somebody who wants your life. Well, this was crazy. And actually, I actually just watched The Matrix. Have you watched The Matrix?
Yeah, I've watched it.
I've never watched The Matrix until this year. I think they just put it for free. And I've actually wanted to watch. My gut wanted to watch it for years. I'm bringing up The Matrix because if this is your first time understanding the law of attraction and law of assumption, you have to unlearn the way you've been thinking your whole life. You have to unlearn it, understand you were on survival mode, get on grateful mode. Yes, if you visualize yourself in a Rolls Royce, that is because you can get it. You can get it. So go get it.
Go get it. Make your money.
Oh, I have some books here.
Okay.
So I wish I had these books at the beginning of my spiritual journey. Yeah, get whichever one. So I actually just randomly at the beginning of my spiritual journey a few years ago walked into Barnes & Noble's. I love that store. And actually it was right after I watched The Secret on Netflix. I'm sure you guys can find that movie anywhere. It's based off the way books. It's based off of The Secret book. But this is not The Secret book. This is The Secret Daily Teachings. And I absolutely love this because you just read like literally a page a day. And what that means is like a quote a day. And I've had this for years and I'm only on page 68. I don't even read it every day. But yeah, let's just pick a random quote. Okay, day 128. Never read that. The things that come most quickly into your life are the things that you believe in the most. So believe all capitalized. The things that come quickly into your life are the things that you believe in the most. You can bring to you only what you believe.
Oh, wow.
So you must believe to receive what you want.
Bro, that matched with this episode.
I know. And I just randomly opened it. I mean, I was flipping through, but I didn't want to find something too long, but yes. So have faith. You will get what you want. I love this book. Just get it. You don't need to know anything before getting that book. This is an intense book. Becoming Supernatural. Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Very popular name on YouTube. Very popular name everywhere. Doctor Joe Dispenza. And it's so intense. I'm not even halfway through this book. But this is the science, brainwaves, everything to how we are literally in charge of our own lives. We can change our whole life. He really gets into the science of it.
With this, with your mindset.
Yeah, like right now, me and you are in a beta brainwave. That's when we're working. Theta is whenever you're meditating, manifesting. You know, you can heal your body. You can do so many things. This guy is absolutely crazy. Lot of, not absolutely crazy.
Like good crazy.
Amazing crazy. Good crazy. Watch his videos on YouTube if you want. I wish I had this book. Jacob, you need to get this book. You're in the start of your...
Big effing dreams.
It's called Big Effing Dreams. Also from Barnes & Nobles. I'm sure you can find it. I don't know who the author is. D.A. Sarah, but of course we're going to tag all this stuff. And I started this year, 2024. It's still January, get it. But I love it for people who are just starting to manifest. It says, what the F is manifestation, and do I need a GD crystal? No, you don't. You don't need a crystal. I love it because like one page is like, write everything negative you believe and now cross it out. Like, you should be aware of your negative thoughts. Just understand that that's not the path you're following, right? Mm-hmm. And like follow the yellow brick road, write down your past and your future, just putting them all in one little thing. I'm trying to find this one other page that I drew. I don't think it wants me to show it to you. It's okay. What basically is like a vision board of everything you want in your life. And maybe the universe didn't want me to show it to you because everything I want, I drew out like my family, my car, how much money I want, bank account. Just really know what you want. Mm. Know what you want, follow that path to get it. So much information. I just want to mention a few more people who I love. Like I said, Joe Dispenza, Rita Kaminsky. She puts out very short videos, like 10 minutes or less on YouTube every other day. Law of Assumption. She's a pro at explaining. Rita Kaminsky. Oh my gosh, one more person. Chris Duncan. He really got me into the mindset of my subconscious, which you train with affirmations, meditating. Your superconscious, which I mentioned is your higher self on that top of that mountain. Yeah. That's your superconscious. That's who you know you are. And then of course we're in our present conscious. Our superconscious basically knows who we are. Yeah, it's our template for who we are, who we're becoming. Chris Duncan is way better at explaining that. Abraham-Hicks, you hear quotes here and there. Abraham-Hicks. Again, watch The Secret Movie on Netflix. Get this workbook. And use joy as your compass in life, basically. It was a lot.
That's a lot of information, but it was really good information. And I think some people will resonate with it. Some people
And I'm sorry my thoughts were everywhere. It's a lot.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a lot of good information, but I think you have to want to see your life a certain way to be on that path. And also one big thing is probably like trust your intuition. Some people
so much trust it all the way for everything. Never not trust your intuition.
Yeah, never not trust it, but also follow your dreams. Follow your heart. But intuition's a big one. I think those are some things that people don't really they don't listen to. That gut feeling.
Yeah, because we're on that primal instinct all the time.
Yeah.
Fear, what's next, So well, thanks for joining us this time.
Thank you guys, appreciate
it. And we'll probably have a similar episode about this later. Okay.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye.